All right, all right, all right. Hello, New York! How we doing this morning?
Great!
Fantastic. My name is Seth Little. I am the troop seat. Are you the go guy? You the guy that said go yesterday? Or no? You're first. You look exactly like this fella that I saw there yesterday that was yelling, go! All right. So when it comes time to say go, that's your job, just so you know, all right? All right. My name is Trooper Seth Little, like I said before, and I will be your guide on this underwater adventure. I am the Troop C Senior Diver, and I want to introduce you to the rest of the crew. We have our fearless leader, Tech Sergeant Neil Case. And then we have, hopping up those stairs just because he's so happy to be here, Trooper Mike Hennessy from Troop D. And we got the Big E from Troop D, the Troop D Senior Diver, Greg Ebro. Oh yeah, you look thrilled, Greg. I like the excitement. All right. Okay, so while these guys are getting ready, I'm just going to give you a brief history of the New York State Police Dive Team. Our first dive as the New York State Police Dive Team was registered in 1932. That makes us the oldest public safety diving team in the United States. And we also happen to be the largest public safety dive team in the United States. Now, back then we were using hard helmets. We were using canvas suits and lead shoes and lead weights around our waist. And altogether, the equipment back then weighed approximately 100 pounds or so. So, those guys were, it was a little cumbersome, but they went in the water and they did the job with the equipment that they had. Now, in 1943, there was a smart fella by the name of Jacques Cousteau. Jacques Cousteau invented what we now commonly call scuba. Scuba is an acronym. Scuba means self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. And so it took all the heavy gear and it condensed it so that there was a tank that you took in the water with you, lighter weight suit, fins, mask. So it went from 100 pounds to approximately 40 pounds that you were going in the water with. Okay? Now, in 1957, the New York State Police decided to adopt scuba as its preferred method of dive. So in 1958, they sent a couple fellas down to the Navy Dive School, and because they wanted to learn from the best. And so once they learned from the Navy Dive School and gathered the lessons there and went through some of their teachings, they brought it back to the New York State Police, in which now we have our own novice dive school. Our novice dive school is 10 weeks long, and by the end of the novice dive school, we are an advanced diver, and we also have, as you saw in the video here, we have swift water tech, we have airboat operations. And so what the New York State Police does is not just dive, we do a lot of stuff. Okay, we do a lot of stuff. So, as these guys are getting ready to go into the water, the first thing that you need to know is you never dive alone. You always dive with a buddy. So, I'm sure they checked each other's gear out.
We're all good to go.
Made sure everything was good, so you are good to go then.
All set, we're ready.
Okay, all right. So if you're a kid, and well, even if you're an adult, I don't care. But if you want to come up here and sit in the grass and just be able to see the divers up close, you're more than welcome to sit up there if you want to. Okay, just that invitation is given to you. Come over the ropes, whatever you need to do.
Seth, we're gonna need the kids up close.
You're going to need the kids.
Yeah, they gotta come up close.
All right, come on. You guys want to check this out? It's pretty cool. It's all right. Go ahead. Come under the rope. Come over the rope. Bring around the rosy. Doesn't matter. Over here. All right. So, now that you're ready to go into the water,
Now we're gonna need a countdown.
you're going to need a countdown?
Yeah.
Okay, we didn't learn how to do that in dive school, though.
You can start from 3.
Okay, well, good thing. But I'm going to need this gentleman over here to say go, so that everybody can start from 3. So can you yell out go for me, and then we'll start from 3 and go down, okay?
Hey Seth.
Yeah?
Is that the go guy?
It's not the go guy. Doesn't he look like the go guy?
Are you sure?
That's your new nickname. You are the go guy. All right, so, everybody ready? What's your name, sir? Dean, when Dean yells go, we're all going to start counting down from 3. So,
Go.
3, 2, 1.
Hold on.
Yeah. It's Dean's fault, it's not mine.
I mean, we got a pretty good crowd. Yesterday there was half the amount of people and they sounded better than that.
Oh, okay, all right. Well,
We gotta do a little better than that.
all right. So everybody respect Dean, okay? Respect his authority here, all right? All right, Dean, you ready? All right.
Go.
3,
2, 1.
go! All right. Now, these guys are in the water, and the first thing that they're doing is sort of just swimming around, all right? And as you can see, they're not going up, they're not going down, they're just sort of static in the water. And what that is called is neutral buoyancy. Now, you might say, well, that looks easy. Actually, that is the sign of an advanced diver. One who can just sort of move through the water easy, isn't getting pushed up or pushed down, okay? Some of the equipment that they have while they're swimming around in there and floating around, they have their mask. Their mask is on their face. The mask protects their eyes, all right? There's a little layer of air there between the lens and their eyeball. They have their regulator. The regulator is in their mouth. That regulator is supplying air from the first stage. That first stage is attached to the tank on their back, and that tank actually has approximately 3,000 pounds of air in it, okay? So that 3,000 pounds of air is pushing out into the first stage. The first stage reduces it to about 145 psi, which then allows the regulator to give air to the diver on demand without blowing their lungs up, okay? That's important. Don't blow your lungs up. Now, the tank is attached to a BC. The BC is a buoyancy control device, and what this does is it allows you to either add air, take away air, add weight, and that's what allows them to achieve that neutral buoyancy where they're just effortlessly swimming through the water, okay? Now, little fact about masks is when you are underwater and when you are looking through your mask, things seem 33% larger and 25% closer. All right, so if you have a friend who is a diver and he says, I saw a barracuda and it was this big, you can go, it was about that big. But okay, whatever, still a good story, But in any case, so let's say Sergeant Case, he's a fairly large person in there. He's large and in charge. He might be intimidating because he seems 33% larger. But troopers don't get intimidated, do they? Do they, Trooper Hennessy? No, what are you going to do? You're going to take care of business. Take care of it. Oh yeah. He's not being intimidated. He just ripped his mask right off. We are taught as divers not to panic. Things go wrong in the water. Equipment can be ripped off. It's usually not by somebody else. It's usually by something that you might run into. Okay, so if your mask comes off, you don't panic. What you do is you put your mask on and you create a seal, and then you just tip the bottom of the mask up just a little bit so there's a little crack. You blow air out your nose. That air will displace the water that is in the mask, and you will actually see the water level of the mask go down as the air takes its place, and then they will be able to go about their way looking at things that look 33% bigger and 25% closer. Besides masks being ripped off, for whatever reason, when we're looking in rivers for evidence, things like that, people like to dump shopping carts over bridges. I don't know why. Just happens, you know? And also rebar and things of that nature. So, our gear might get caught every once in a while. Our BC, Sergeant Case here, is going to show you what we do. It's called ditch and dawn. So he is ditching his gear because right now he's caught in something. Can't figure it out. So he keeps the regulator in his mouth, but he takes the pack off. If he can figure out what to do, how to get it unstuck, then he will do so and put the pack back on. If he can't, then he will take a breath, and then he will go up to the top, blowing bubbles out the whole entire way. Now when he gets to the top, he can reassess and go, you know what, I think I know how to fix that. So then he can go back down to his pack, and you will see what he does first is he will grab his pack, because that is where the weight is. And that'll keep him down, and he puts the regulator in his mouth. So then he has air. He does no need to panic. He puts the regulator back in his mouth and backpack back on, and then goes back to business. Now, it's all well and good when this stuff happens around 20 feet, 10 feet, or so. But what happens if you're down 132 feet? The reason I say 132 feet is because that is how deep we are qualified to go as a dive team. It's called 5 atmospheres. 132 feet, if you look at the top of this tower here, this tower is 60 feet tall. So, add another tower on top of that, and then 12 more feet on top of that, that's 132 feet. When you are down here swimming, and it's that tall, you are not seeing the surface of anything, and everything sort of closes in a little bit around you, but you have air and you're good. But what happens if you run out of air? And it has happened to us before as individuals now. Yes, Sarge, yeah, right. That tall, yes. A little bit higher, yeah. Nope, we don't panic. We've done it before, we know what to do, right? Okay, so at 132 feet, Trooper Hennessy is going to simulate what we would do if we're having problems with our regulator, we run out of air. So he is getting the attention of his buddy. He's giving him the I'm out of air signal, and his buddy comes over. Now the thing that you need to notice is that Tech Sergeant Case, he maintains control of his regulator. The reason that he maintains control of his regulator is because he's the one that has air, which means he is the one that is probably at this point a little bit more calm. Okay? So he maintains, he gives his buddy a couple breaths, he brings it back and takes a couple breaths, and then they will go to the surface, just giving a couple breaths, taking a couple breaths, and they will go to the surface all the way up and abort the dive. Okay? Now, another reason that we might take off our pack is not because it gets stuck, but because we need to fit into small places. I don't know if anybody remembers the Wild Boar soccer team over in Thailand. In 2018, this soccer team of youths went with their coach cave exploring over in Thailand. Okay? They went into the cave, all of a sudden it was just raining torrential downpours. The front of the cave started to flood. It pushed them back. They went back to a section. It continued to rise, pushed them back farther. Altogether, they went back 2.5 miles into this cave system. And these weren't big kids, these were small kids and small coaches. And so they were fitting through places that, a normal person with a scuba pack wouldn't be able to fit into. So, how did the Navy SEALs and all the other rescue divers that came from around the world came together? What did they do to fit through these places? What they did is they took their pack off, keeping the air in their mouth, and they put their pack in front of them. And then they went into the tight places, so they became small. And the incredible thing is that all of those kids and the coach, they were all saved. Unfortunately, there was one of the rescue divers that lost his life, okay, which shows you that water is inherently dangerous. We don't naturally breathe underwater. But the rescue divers did what they were called to do, so let's give them a hand. Now, one of the main reasons that I joined this team is because when I grew up, I watched Johnny Quest. And Johnny Quest had some pretty cool stuff. And one of those things was an underwater scooter, okay? And so this is a DPV, this is a diver propulsion vehicle. And what you will see is Trooper Hennessy will turn on this underwater scooter and he'll be able to zoom through the water with ease. And what we would use this for is if we can't get, if something's not conducive to a boat to get us to a site, we would use one of these in order to save our energy. And when you save energy, you save air. And so when you get to the site that you need to get to, you will have more of both. So, I think, Trooper Hennessy, I know you made yourself small to go through that tunnel, but looking at it now, I think that you could probably fit through there with the DPV. Don't you want to give the kids a show? Huh? Right? For the kids? Right? Watch out, there's a shark underneath you. Be careful. That's all right. Okay, good. It's our pet. All right. Let's see. Here goes Trooper Hennessy. He's going to try and make himself small with the DPV. Struggling a little bit, but he keeps on going. He's doing what he needs to do. What? And he made it through. All right, let's give him a hand, because that was tight. That was very tight. Good job. Good job.
Hey, Seth, he made it.
Yes, he did, Sarge. He barely made it, but you know what? I knew he could.
I think I want to try that.
Sarge, you're about 33% larger than Trooper Hennis.
Just underwater. It's
It's not, well, okay, yeah, sure.
yeah, I can fit.
You can fit. Do you guys think that the sergeant can fit through there with his pack and DPV?
Yeah, see, they all think I can fit.
Yeah, okay, well, yeah, sure. There is such confidence out here. I think the go guy said no.
No, he said go.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Oh, he said go? Okay, all right. Dean says go. You need to go.
All right, I'm going to try it.
All right. All right. I have my doubts about this, but he's a pretty clever fella. So we'll see what Sergeant Case does. You might want to get a little extra oomph from the glass. Oh, he's going for it. Yeah, no. No. Sarge, it's a no-go. No-go. You have an idea? The last one didn't work out so well. Okay, all right, we'll see. Here he goes. Oh, look at that. I don't know if that's right, but let's give him a hand. And he jumps the shark. All right, now, so far I've only had two people have told me. Does anybody know where the term jump the shark comes from?
Happy days.
Happy Days, very good. Fonzarelli, right? Hey. All right. You know, Happy Days, Johnny Quest, they all go together. All right. Yes, sir. You want a reward for that? Well, it wasn't really what you... Okay. Greg, do you have anything for the Sarge? I think he was a little hungry after all that effort. A banana. All right. There's a banana coming down to you, Sarge. He doesn't know where it's at. Things look 33% larger. How can you not see the banana? What? Oh, there he goes. He found it. All right. So, if it's in there, we'll find it. Which brings me to our next set of tools that we use. If it's in there, we'll find it is our motto, okay? And our symbol is the octopus. Now the octopus, if you've ever seen it, okay, it's moving on the ground. What does the octopus do? It touches everything, right? I mean, there's nothing that gets out of its grasp, out of its little suckers. And so as it moves along the ground, it touches everything. So the next thing, very good. The next thing that we're going to show you is how we touch everything. Okay, when we're underground, when we're underwater, and we can't really see. So, Mike, we're going to simulate, you're going to be looking for evidence. There was a bank robber that just robbed a bank with a gun. So, but in order to do that, we need to put a mask over your face where you can't see. So there's one coming down to you, and this is what we do in the novice dive school. Before we go out to real life, in the pool, we practice these things. We tape off a mask, and we put all sorts of obstructions in the ways, in the line, and everything like that. And these guys learn to follow the line, and just to make sure that they touch everything as they're going over top of it. Okay? So, Mike, go ahead and put that mask on, and then we'll drop the gun down there. And he's going to show you how we get it done as divers. So go ahead. He has no idea where that is right now, but he's going to find it. And the reason he finds it is because between the two weights there is a line, okay? So there's a weight, a line, and a weight. And that line is taut. And so what he does is he takes the line in one hand and he touches everything on the ground without being able to see anything, but making sure that he goes slow enough so that he doesn't miss anything. And he moves the weight over just a little bit, comes back the other way, and then when he gets to the other end, he'll move the weight over a little more. Now, depending on the size of the object, you move the weight a lot or you move the weight a little bit. In this instance, he's moving the weight just a little bit so that he doesn't miss anything while he is searching for the gun. And I think that he is going to find the gun on... Very good. Let's give him a hand. All right, for your reward, you get to see what you're doing again. So go ahead and put your other mask back on. Now, that bank robber, he was getting away on a four-wheeler. So he threw the gun over a bridge and then he drove the four-wheeler over a bank a little bit farther on down the river. So that four-wheeler, as it comes down, the divers went down a little bit farther down the river and they found that four-wheeler. So they brought that four-wheeler down and they marked the four-wheeler for our hard helmet diver. Now I told you in the very beginning that we sort of came away from hard helmets. We've gone back to them in recent years, and the reason we've gone back to hard helmets in recent years is because when we do overhead environments or when we're lifting heavy objects, if those objects happen to fall back down, what we will do is we will wear a helmet in order to just add a little extra layer of protection on our head. So the diver will go down, they'll find the object, they'll mark the object right there with a little bag, and then the diver, who is senior diver Greg Ebro, he's getting ready in his hard helmet. And what this box allows us to do is it allows us to give to the diver an endless supply of air. And then we are also the diver's computer. So we're telling him how deep he is, and we're telling him where to go. We can hear him, he can hear us. So are you ready to go into the tank? He is ready. So when you're ready, go ahead and splash in. Here he goes. All right. So he doesn't have a buoyancy control device. What he actually has is a dry suit. In that dry suit, it will trap air. He can either add air to the dry suit or take it out, just like the buoyancy control device. Comes out of his shoulder area. All right. Are you very good? Good job, Greg. We're proud of you. I'm proud of you. Okay. Yeah. All right. But you got to do, Art. You got to do something. You got to find. No, not the shark. You got to find the four-wheeler that the diver marked for you. It shouldn't be that hard. It should be 33% larger. Do you see it? Hey, there it is. All right. Okay. So, kids, how do you think that he's going to bring this four-wheeler back up to the surface? You think he does it with his muscles? The rope? Well, that would be one way, but there is an easier way even than that. Okay? And so, he is going to get that out. What that is called is a lift bag. Okay, so he gets that lift bag out, he attaches it to the object, and then with that lift bag, he will add air to the lift bag, and these lift bags come in various sizes, just depending what you're trying to bring up. If it's a boat, if it's a plane, if it's an anchor, an old anchor, something like that, we will use as many lift bags or the size of lift bag that we need. Now the important part for him is that once this starts going up, he will then get out of the way, because if there is equipment failure, what goes up must come down, and he wants a hand of applause here. Let's give him some applause, because he is very excited about this. Congratulations, you did what you were supposed to do. All right. So, anyhow, that is just a little bit of what the underwater recovery team does. And it's been my pleasure to be able to talk to you today about it. And I believe that Tech Sergeant Neil Case has something to say here in the end of our demo.
Yeah, I just want to take a moment to recognize what these guys do on a daily basis. Every time they go underwater, they're putting their lives on the line to bring closure to families in different criminal cases throughout the state, and to serve the people of the state of New York. So if you could please all join me in thanking them for what they do every day. Thanks, guys.
So it has been my utmost pleasure to talk to you today and present this to you. If you have any questions about dive, feel free to ask me. I'll be here. Also, if anybody wants to take their picture with the poser over here in the water, he is a good poser. So go ahead, feel free to come over the ropes and get in front of the tank and take your pictures. He loves pictures. All right. Other than that, K9 is going to be next, those adorable dogs. So if you want to stick around, you can. If you want to go grab something to eat and come back, you can do that too. Dean, thank you for your help, man. I appreciate it. All right. Everybody have a good day.